there is zero wrong answers. When I ask, what does it smell like? What does this taste like? What does it remind you of? Whatever you say, whatever you taste, and whatever you smell, 100% yes, you're absolutely right.
Dave grew up in the wild suburbs of Los Angeles.
Hello.
Hi.
Wow.
Yeah, Don. Holy crap.
Wild West. And you can't get out of it.
You're so good.
It's 360.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even if you're on the ceiling, you still can't get out of it.
There. All right.
Okay, what's the best thing on the menu?
Well, most popular, I will say, is the pulled pork, the brisket, and the St. Louis ribs.
Okay.
Chicken is really good. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have burn ends?
We don't know. Yeah. Would you guys like to start with something to drink right away?
I would. I'm burning up beer. Water. And
So start with some waters
beer
here.
menu. Waters for sure.
Beers? You have beer menu?
Yep, it is right over there on that cut. Right there.
Beer and
There
wine.
you go.
I'll be right back with that.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is what do they call this thing? The family platter?
Not teeny wahini.
Not teeny wahini. That's
Yeah.
right. At Smoking Dave's.
Yeah.
This thing is you $42. All that. Plus sides. Potato
sides.
salads, 3 sides, 4 sides.
4 sides.
Okay, this thing's crazy. Good deal.
Okay.
Dig in.
I'll spend a little time kind of on how I approach a glass of whiskey and start this off. By no means is this how to taste whiskey, because I find it rather ridiculous for anyone to sit here and tell you the correct way to enjoy a liquid. That's silly to me, right? But this will just be kind of how I have found I get the most out of a glass of whiskey in a setting like this, right? Neat, in a lineup, tasting multiple things in a row. When I'm not hosting these tastings, I'm picking all the single barrels of whiskey you see out there. I'm writing tasting notes for bottles of whiskey, stuff like that. And this is just how I have developed my process, and also a lot of information I've stolen from guys who have made whiskey for 40 years, right? So a couple of useful tips and tricks in here that I've picked up along the way. So we'll kind of just walk through the first glass together. It's the only time in this room I will ask you to observe patience with your whiskey. Don't sit until I tell you to, that sort of thing. So we just want to talk out what I'm thinking about, right? What I'm looking for. Every glass after that, have at it. Enjoy it how you like, right? All right, let's move on to this next whiskey. If you're like, you know what? I like some of the things you did. I'm going to steal that. Cool trick. I have my own way of tasting whiskey. I've been tasting whiskey a long time. That's great too, right? At the end of the day, the only thing that matters to me is that you enjoy your whiskey. If you want to shoot them all back and stumble out of here, good luck to you. I'm not going to help you get out the door or anything like that. I stopped bartending for a reason. It's not really what I want to do with anymore. Then after that, we will launch into what you guys are drinking, some stories behind the distilleries, who they are, what they're about, what they're making, what this room is about, what this project is, what we're doing down here. And while you're nosing the whiskey, don't feel like you have to just shove your nose in this glass and, right? Because that kind of happens. Whiskey is minimum 40% alcohol. That's a lot, right? This isn't quite like a wine. A wine's what? High-end, 15%. This is a big jump. There's a reason we're using these little tulip-shaped glasses, right? These are designed to bring those vapors, bring those smells out to you. I always advise, put some distance on it first. Start smelling slightly farther away, and you expect to be able to smell the spirit in here. Gentle, short, soft smells in. You just move the glass away for a moment in between smells, gives your brain a second to process, also gives your nose breaks. So you sit here, inhaling all these alcohol vapors in your nose in here. Nose is going to get overworked, get tired, you're going to lose your ability to detect the nuances in this glass. On this next smell, what I want everyone to do is open your mouth slightly and inhale through your nose and mouth at the same time as you smell this whiskey. And you'll notice a huge difference in how much you can smell. The alcohol notes are going to go way down. It's going to get a lot richer, a lot more complex. You can kind of taste it in the back of your palate a little bit, right? The reason this works is it's kind of like if you've ever been in a car with somebody and they roll down one window and you get that in your ears. All we're doing is we're rolling down the other window and creating a cross breeze. Instead of having alcohol vapors bouncing around our nose, nowhere to escape to, we open our mouth, give an easy escape route so our nose can better smell all the other heavier vapors coming out of this glass after that alcohol. So, what does this smell like, guys? What do you think? What's this remind you of? A little caramel, right?
Cherry.
A little cherry. Ooh, we're going in a sweet direction. Caramel, cherry, heck
Does
yeah.
have a bit of a sweet note to it. For sure.
Yeah. Well,
I get an earthy.
yeah, you get some
I
earthiness.
smoke so many cigars.
That's fair. Yeah, I can tell by the t-shirt.
It kills a lot of my
Yeah, you're
the
used to
cherry, the
big flavors,
cinnamon,
right? It's going to take a lot to get to that, right? Okay. Oh, and by the way, I want to highlight, when I ask this question, there is 0 wrong answers. When I ask, what does it smell like? What does this taste like? What does it remind you of? Whatever you say, whatever you taste, and whatever you smell, 100% yes, you're absolutely right. Does not matter. If you say it with confidence, someone else at this table will agree with you. I guarantee it. I've had people in this room be like, Grandma. Yeah, man.
it's like grandma.
Don't know if you want to get into that at this room full of strangers, but whatever you smell, whatever you taste, you are not wrong. And I always like to think of being a kid, right? What is this most like? What does it remind you of? When you're a kid, some of those smells are the most ingrained to your memory, right? Those crucial smells that remind you of growing up. Think of things like that. Put those kind of smells in your brain while you look for something in this whiskey. Fun, right? This is a trick I learned from an old Scotsman, so it's a pretty fun trick. I want everyone to put their glass back down on the table. I want you to put one hand on the top of your glass, just like so. Pick up your glass with the other hand. We're going to splash a little bit of whiskey onto the palm of our hand. Just like that. Once your hand's wet, just put your glass back down. Flip your hand over. I want you to rub your hands together, keep it nice and close to your nose, right in front of your face. And then right when your hands are almost dry, give it a clap and smell your hands. What do you smell? The oak kind of came out, right?
Grassy. Yeah.
Yeah, the grassy, the grains really kind of jumped out.
Little leather.
Little leather coming through. It's changed, right? It smells different on our hands than it did in the glass.
So
People are gonna look at me crazy when I do this in another place.
Huh?
People are gonna look at me crazy when I do this in another place.
No, trust me, I've done this at the Lefroy
I
Distillery.
smoked a
and
lot
every-
more doing that.
And then everybody copied me. I'm serious. I've done this at distilleries. I've done this with some very fancy whiskey people. So what we're doing, why I'm making you put whiskey on your hands and rubbing it, because you can tell there's a big difference. You can kind of smell a little bit more at
Does
first
it take the alcohol
on your
out of
hands.
it?
Nailed it. We're evaporating out all of our alcohol. So the only thing left on your hands are the oils that give this whiskey smell, give this whiskey flavor. And this is a really, really useful trick for opening up a nose of a whiskey. Because we can get that alcohol out of there, especially if you're smelling something that's a little aggressive, right? Where you're like, that's nail polish remover and gasoline. I can't smell a single thing past that. This can get that out of the equation, give you a better sense of what's going on in there. And if you think about those grainy, woody, leathery kind of notes we just got in our hands, and you smell your glass again, you notice this glass has totally changed. It smells like a new whiskey. There's so much more nuance, there's so much more going on, there's so many more layers to it. That's because our human brain is designed for pattern recognition, right? So what we've done is we've showed our nose, what does this smell like without alcohol involved, by putting it on our hands. Now our nose is trying to find things that smell exactly like this. So it's better at detecting the other things that aren't just alcohol. But I want you to, 1, focus on coating your whole tongue in whiskey, and 2, let it spend a couple seconds moving across your palate. Basically, don't swish it around like mouthwash and shoot it back, right? Be a little slow and gentle with it, so it spends a couple seconds. As long as you're comfortable, make sure the swallow is gentle, nice deep exhale out. Have at it, tasting sip of whiskey, and then I'm done managing everyone's enjoyment. There's 2 big reasons I like to taste my whiskey this way. 1, we have different taste buds on all the different parts of our tongue. They just taste different flavors based on their location. So I want this whiskey to hit all the different kinds of taste buds we have. Try and find all the little flavors hiding in this whiskey. And 2, as some of you might have noticed, as you let whiskey hang out in here, as you move it around, the whiskey's going to react with the natural environment in our mouth, all the saliva and natural enzymes and things. It's going to cause a lot of the alcohol to burn off up here, which can yield really big, bold, rich flavors. Also, maybe might make parts of your tongue feel like they're going a little numb, right? Especially if you're not used to sipping whiskey this way.
Bottom of my tongue.
Yeah, bottom of your tongue feels a little on fire. But that's also going to really reduce the burning in our throat and minimize that Kentucky hug we get in our chest because we've mostly burned off the alcohol up here, which can yield big flavors. Also, kind of gets rid of that heartburn feeling, which I know some people love. Some people, that's why they don't like whiskey.